Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing about major methods for the estimation of pollen viability. Friends, reproduction is a critical step in the life cycle of all organisms. So is true for plants where pollination is one of the decisive stages of reproduction process. In seed plants, pollen grains embody the male partners in sexual reproduction. Pollen has a very important role in the flow of genes in plants, especially in plants that are outcrossing. Successful pollination is a prerequisite for fertilization and seed set in most plants. Thus, for the effective pollination, the quality of pollen is crucial, where pollen viability and vigor decide the quality of pollen. Pollen fertility and viability have a paramount importance in hybridization program, pollen storage studies, pollen pistil interaction studies, and for breeding and crop improvement, and also for seed industry. Despite these facts, breeders fail to get fertile seed during artificial pollination. Unless sterility is the main cause, the failure of the seed setting may be the result of slow growth of the pollen tube or its early degeneration in the style. So, to overcome these difficulties, it is necessary to study the pollen viability, physiology of pollen germination and pollen tube growth. This lecture will cover topic estimation of pollen viability from the unit of course 11, experiments in cytology and genetics, for BSc Botany Honors 4th semester skill enhancement elective. And this is the outline of today's lecture. Here we will know about what is pollen or pollen grain, and rationale of pollen viability testing, the structure of a typical pollen, and pollen, when a pollen is called the viable, and we will discuss in detail methods for estimation of pollen viability, and we will conclude and appraise the major methods of pollen viability that will be discussed here, and I will also suggest some literature for further readings. When someone says think of a plant, the plants you think of, whether it is a tree, a tomato plant or geranium, is a sporophyte. Most land plants are sporophytes, usually diploids. So what is pollen or pollen grain? Pollen or pollen grain is a common name for the male gametophyte of seed plants formed in anthers. It is a microscope body that contains the male reproductive cell or male gamete or a sperm cell of plants, and it is crucial in plants' fertilization process. There is difference between the pollen and pollen grains. Pollen can be all pollen or a single pollen grain. Simply refers to a quantity of pollen grains. Whether pollen grain is usually indicates a single structure or composed of two cells. Of course, it is a microscope body. So, what is the major rationale of the pollen viability testing? Why should we know if pollen is viable? Viability means ability to live, but pollen viability connotes the ability of pollen to complete post-pollination events and to effect fertilization. As I mentioned before, pollen is important for flow of genes in plants. So for effective pollination, the ability of pollen grains to germinate when they reach the stigmas of flowers. Effective pollination is prerequisite for fruit set and seed set in most plants. So effective pollination is largely decided by the viability of pollen and pollen tube growth. And these two things are required for any rational approach for increasing crop or plant productivity. So need to estimate the functional quality of pollen arises in assessing the fertility of parent plants, hybrids in molecular experimentation, plant breeding, in monitoring pollen state during storage, etc. So let us know about a typical pollen. Pollen grains remarkably vary in their size, pigments, aromas, nutritional content for pollinators, patterns of their ornate exine structures, and these all structures are important for pollen delivery and for modulating the adhesion, hydration, and emergence of pollen tubes. So a typical pollen have the intine and exine. Intine is the inner wall. It is soft, composed of cellulose and pectin, grows in the form of thin tube called the pollen tube through germ pore. And the exine is the outer wall. It is rough and Spanish, composed of sporopollenin. It is a chemically inert biological polymer. It is resistant to high temperature, strong acids, and alkali. When pollen is called viable, pollen can be called viable when pollen grain exhibits the ability to perform the function of delivering the sperm cells to embryo sac during pollination. From time to time, many pollen viability tests have been standardized. There is no universal viability test which is quick, simple, and 100% reliable. Hence, it is necessary to apply different tests for a given pollen system and find out one that reflects true viability. So, major methods for estimation of pollen viability can be grouped into two: direct methods, indirect methods. Direct methods are based on the pollen tube germination based approaches, whereas indirect methods are based on the cytological parameters based approaches. In the direct methods, induction of in vitro germination test is performed, induction of in vivo germination test is performed, whereas in the indirect methods, pollen staining methods are the major one. Here, X-gal test, tetrazolium test, dehydrogenase test, enzyme test, callose tests, starch content test, and storage activity test. So we will be discussing about these tests in detail here. In vivo, the pollen viability test comprises control compatible pollinations, pollen germination on the stigma, and eventual pollen tube growth in the style constitute. This test is less time consuming than the fruit set and the seed set. Here the pollen is grown on a specific media. Growth media contains sucrose, boric acid, calcium nitrate. This is important for pollen germination in plants. The growth media with the pollen is kept under humid environment and room temperature approximately 20 degrees Celsius. Here the pollens showing pollen tube length longer than their diameter are regarded as viable pollens. It is although it is a reliable and widely used test, but this test is difficult in achieving satisfactory pollen germination in many species having trinucleate pollen system, where the pollen in pollen tube development in vitro conditions is there is some problem there. In vivo pollen tube germination test, pollen is grown on the stigma of a flower, and this is the summary of a major procedure involved in vivo pollen tube germination test. Pollen staining based test approaches can be the X-gal test, tetrazolium test, as I mentioned before. So let's know more about the X-gal test. The basic principle for the X-gal test is that enzyme beta-galactosidase is involved in the degradation of lactose. The presence of this enzyme in a viable pollen wall is indicated by the blue color. In fact, the beta-galactosidase is formed in pollen after reduction division. It is located in the cytoplasm and in the walls of pollen and pollen tubes of most plants. It is involved in the cellular growth and in hydrolysis of polysaccharides that occurs during autolysis and for the loosening of the cell wall. It has hydrolytic action on stellar albinogalactans and thereby provides an exogenous carbon source for pollen tube growth. X-gal test is also abbreviated as BCIG, 5-bromo-4-chloro-3-indolene beta-degalactopyranoside. It is an organic compound consisting of galactose linked to a substituted indole. Here the procedure of X-gal test is that 1 milligram the X-galt is taken. It is dissolved in 50 microliter dimethyl formamide, and we add the 1 milliliter acetate buffer, that is 50 millimolar, and pH should be 4.8. We incubate the pollens for 30 minutes in dark, between 35 to 37 degrees Celsius in the medium, and later the viability of the pollen is tested, and the blue color pollen shows its viability. The tetrazolium test, or TZ test, or dehydrogenase enzyme test. The basic principle for this test is that all living tissues which respire are capable of reducing a colorless chemical, that is 2,3,5-diphenyl tetrazolium chloride, into a red colored compound pharmazine by hydrogen transfer reaction catalyzed by the enzyme dehydrogenase. The pink color of the pollen confirms the presence of dehydrogenase and the live cell in the pollen. And this is the major steps, the list of major steps involved in the tetrazolium test or dehydrogenase enzyme test. Let us know about the aniline blue test or cotton blue test or Kalos test. Here the major principle underlying the aniline blue test is that Kalos is a polysaccharide in the form of beta-1,3 glucan with some beta-1,6 branches. It is a cell wall component that is produced by a few cell types such as growing pollen tubes and cell plates or dividing cells. In pollen tubes, Kalos occurs both in their walls as well as in the plugs that segment growing tubes that transports sperm to female gametes. Aniline blue or cotton blue solution is also known as lactophenol cotton blue solution. It is a mounting medium and staining agent used in the preparation of slides. These are the major steps involved in the aniline blue test. Lugal test or Lugal solution test, a starch content based test. Major principle underlying the Lugal solution based test is that a starch is an important marker of pollen grain. A starch reserves are accumulating pollen during its development and the final stage of ripening. Iodine broke up in a watery arrangement of potassium iodide. The triiodine anion edifices with the starch present in the pollen and create black color. Lugal solution is composed of basically the iodine potassium iodide. It is also known as aqueous iodine or a strong iodine solution, and it is a medication and disinfectant used for a number of purposes. These are the major steps involved in the Lugal solution test or starch based test. FCR test or the fluorochromatic reaction test or esterase activity based test. Here the principle is that certain non-fluorescent fatty acid esters of the fluorescein freely enter living cells where they may rapidly be hydrolyzed to give fluorescein. If the cell has an intact membrane, the rate of escape of fluorescein, a polar molecule, is lower than a rate of entry of fresh substrate, so that for a period fluorescein accumulates in the cell, which accordingly becomes increasingly fluorescent. Thus, an increase in fluorescence in an intact pollen grain can usually be detected readily by eye using quite simple microscope equipment or measured with the suitable instrumentation. These are the list of the major steps involved in the FCR test, esterase activity based test. So let us conclude the lecture. Pollens are important for flow of genes in plants. The need to test the functional quality of pollen arises in a number of contexts, including assessment of fertility of parent plants and habits in molecular experimentation, in monitoring pollen state during storage, and research on pollen stigma interaction, etc. This is a summary of the direct methods and indirect methods. Direct methods includes the induction of in vitro germination test and induction of in vivo germination test, whereas indirect methods includes X-galt test, tetrazolium test, aniline blue test, Lugal solution based test or starch content based test, and FCR test or esterase activity test. In vitro pollen germination depends on the germination type, environmental condition, pollen maturity, composition, and pH of the medium. The dye test have advantages as a indicator of pollen viability because they are faster and easier compared with the pollen germination. However, they do tend to overestimate the viability and real germination of pollen grains. It is mandatory to determine optimum condition for pollen germination. So simultaneous use of several tests is recommended to reflect pollen performance. This is the list of some literature for further readings on the subject. Thank you so much.